Hey ladies, how you doing? My name's Gigi. Fancy a kiss?
I just wanted to start this week by saying a massive thank you to everybody, because I've just hit 50,000 subscribers, which is incredible, and it's something that I never ever thought I would achieve on YouTube. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching and commenting, because it really means a lot and it's something that I never thought would happen to me. So a massive thank you to everybody. This angle isn't very flattering for a certain little Grayson over here. I do realise he looks like a bit of a potato right now. Steph thinks he looks like a new potato on top of a jacket potato. Don't you? Today I wanted to talk about quite a controversial subject, and I do realise that it's probably going to cause a bit of mayhem in the comment section because a lot of people are very opinionated about it. But I think even if it helps just a handful of new mummies out there, then it's worth doing. And basically I wanted to talk about why it's okay to bottle feed your baby as opposed to breastfeeding.
Coney is gonna hate this game because it's gonna take all of her attention away.
Okay, I have little G to come.
G can't watch it because it's like too violent for him. But then he doesn't really understand what killing is yet, so maybe it's alright.
Look, he's holding his blanket.
He's holding his blanket. Oh my god, we should put him into Mensa. Are you excited about Titanfall? Yeah, Dad?
Yes, I'm excited about Titanfall.
Can't wait. Yeah, I love Titanfall. You gonna kill some baddies? You gonna save the world?
Yep, sure am.
Can I help? Nope. Can I search around looking for pennies?
No, that's not what the game is.
Maybe someone should invent a game where you look for pennies. I'd buy that.
We're not buying a game where you look for pennies. That sounds ridiculous.
Oh, I think that's a good idea. You just want to steal it.
I'll start from the very beginning and tell you a little bit about how breastfeeding was in my experience, and it was something that I really wanted to be able to do. I was adamant. I went to breastfeeding classes. It just didn't really work out for me that way, and it actually put a lot of pressure onto the pressure of being a new mummy. He was constantly attached to me. Sometimes up to 2 hours he would be feeding, and it got to the point where I was in pain every single time he fed from me, and my nipples got absolutely destroyed. They were cracked and bleeding, and I would just cry whenever I heard him cry for food. We're just heading over to Shoreditch House today to take Jefferson for his first ever swim, and he has this really cute little geeky sun hat and some sunglasses and a little pair of swimming shorts. So we're really excited about seeing his reaction to getting in the swimming pool.
Having his little feed before his swim.
Is that nice, Mr. G?
Everyone's trying to relax. He just cried really loudly. So we're
a bit embarrassed right now, Gigi.
Go for a swim. He's first swim.
He likes it all. What the hell is going on right now? Look at you floating up to the top. He's so light. Gigi, you got shades on.
What do you think of my shades? Pretty great.
What do you think of my sunglasses?
Pretty cool, right? Hey ladies, how you doing? My name's Gigi. Fancy a kiss?
Such a monkey, aren't you?
First of all, I want to talk about the pressures that are put on you to breastfeed, and I was basically told by midwives, by other mummies, that breastfeeding is best, and that if you formula feed your child, you're basically feeding them poison and all sorts of ridiculous things. It's only now that I realised that all of the pain and turmoil and stress that I had over breastfeeding was completely pointless. It didn't need to happen. That's how I feel about it now, and I'm going to tell you the reasons why I've come to feel that way about it.
Everything was going really well until Grayson decided to headbutt the water, and I think it shocked him a little bit, and he basically just did the loudest scream I've ever heard him do, probably louder than when he actually was born. which is saying quite a lot because he screamed pretty loudly. And then everyone by the side of the pool was staring at us, so we had to just get out of the water and like hide in the toilet for like 20 minutes. But it seems to have calmed down a bit now. Haven't you, Milky Man? Was it very stressful? He seemed to like the water though while he was in there.
He loved it, didn't
I'm
he?
quite happy about that.
We had a lactation consultant who came over to our house, and she spent about 3 or 4 hours with us, just monitoring how Grayson was latching onto me, how he was feeding. She actually discovered that he had a tongue tie, which was quite a bad tongue tie. It was 75%, which meant that he couldn't actually lap up the milk properly from my breast. So he was working really hard and not getting very much milk from me, which was why he was staying on the breast for so long. We decided that evening that we were going to bottle feed him just until we could get his tongue tie sorted out, and that was such a relief for me. I cannot even begin to describe. I think I actually cried just purely from knowing that I didn't have to go through the pain of breastfeeding that night. We made an appointment to take Grayson to the tongue tie clinic where he'd have his tongue tie cut, and he had it done, and obviously he cried quite a lot and I was very upset about it. After they analysed his mouth at the tongue tie clinic, they told us that he had a really narrow cathedral arch, which is the arch at the top of your mouth, and that was the reason why it was so difficult for him to suck properly.
He is so completely bombed out now. How amazing does this pizza look? Oh yes.
Coney puts ketchup with her pizza, despite the fact the pizza is covered with tomato sauce. Does anybody else out there put ketchup with their pizza?
But loads of people do.
I started to wonder why there was so much stigma about formula feeding a baby, and the more research I did, I just couldn't find any scientific research that supported breastfeeding over formula feeding. And that's where it gets really controversial, because so many people believe that breast is best, as they say. So for whatever reason, some people can't breastfeed or don't want to breastfeed, and I want you to know today that that's absolutely fine and that you should not feel guilty for not breastfeeding. The most important thing that you can do is bond with your baby, and if breastfeeding interferes or if bottle feeding it just suits your lifestyle better, then whatever makes you happy and makes you be able to bond with your baby, then that's the way to go, and that's the best thing that you can do.
Did you have a nice sleep? Yeah? Is that nice? That's a new thing he does, a little wrinkled up nose. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
My personal advice for anybody is to try breastfeeding, and if for any reason you can't get along with it, or if it doesn't work out for you, do not for a second feel guilty about it, and do not for a second feel guilty about moving on to bottle feeding or any other option, because whatever works for you and your baby is the most important thing.
He's going crazy. Look at your little leggies. Look at your little leggies. And yummy, yummy hand. This is how tightly I'd hold on to my penny if I had one.
Since I started bottle feeding Grayson, he has been like a different baby. When he was breastfeeding, he would cry all the time unless he was latched to me, and that was obviously because he wasn't getting enough food. And since we started bottle feeding, he's been so much happier because he doesn't have to spend 2 hours trying to get food because he's getting it all from a bottle, and it has just made my life so much easier. It's taken all the stress away from feeding him. I feel so relieved that I switched and that I had that consultant come around who told me that it wasn't my fault. I'll just say it one more time. It's your relationship with your baby and it's your body, and do not for any reason feel guilty about not being able to breastfeed.
Hey Squeaky, how's that hand tasting? My little froggy!
You're my little froggy.
Doesn't he look like Phil Mitchell?
No.
He does.
Stop it.
You look like Phil Mitchell.
He doesn't.
Kath, I'm really upset about the whole divorce and everything.
Oh, little Phil Mitchell's laugh. You don't look like Phil Mitchell when you
Look
smile.
how he's licking you. It's so cute.
Yeah, little Phil Mitchell.
He needs a bath.
It's your bath time, Gigi. It's your bath time.
I don't care about anything except milk and pennies. Hashtag milk and pennies. Hashtag milk and pennies. Hashtag milk and pennies.
Do you reckon anyone ever uses the hashtag? We did it last week. We put up hashtag, what was it?
Give me that meze.
Hashtag give me the meze. Did you check if anyone actually used it?
people actually did.
Oh, thank you
really
for
made me
using
laugh every time they did that.
Say milk and pennies. Milk and pennies. Milk and pennies.
Mr. G is wearing a London onesie and he looks amazing.
Say hi, Mr. G. Look at me. I've got London Eye. I have
Black taxis, London Eye.
Gherkin, London Eye, Big Ben, Tower Bridge. What else? A black taxi. A big grimace. See, it's funny. Yay! Just because it's bedtime. I realise what I've said about breastfeeding will probably cause a lot of people to kick up a bit of a fuss, and that's fine. They can have their opinion about what I've said, but as long as it helps those new mums who are finding it hard breastfeeding and struggling to bond, that's all that really matters. I would really like to know your opinions on breastfeeding this week, so let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye!